She was the youngest woman ever elected as a head of government, the second to give birth whilst in office, and in the past 5 years has faced a series of unprecedented challenges. A short time ago, Jacinda Ardern announced she'll be stepping down as New Zealand's Prime Minister within 3 weeks. Speaking at a Labor Party retreat in Napier on the North Island, Ardern choked up as she described how her time in office had taken a toll and left her exhausted. She also announced a general election for October.
This summer, I had hoped to find a way to prepare not just for another year, but another term, because that is what this year requires. I have not been able to do that. And so today I'm announcing that I will not be seeking re-election, and that my term as Prime Minister will conclude no later than the 7th of February.
Ardern won praise around the world for her handling of the COVID pandemic, for a personal style of speaking from the heart, especially during moments of crisis, like the mass shooting at 2 mosques in Christchurch in 2019. Within weeks, Ardern and her Labor government passed new gun laws banning semi-automatic weapons. And while her popularity grew around the world in recent months, a slowing economy, a housing crisis and inflation has seen her approval ratings fall at home. CNN's Chrissy Lustau live now from Hong Kong with more. So her last day as Prime Minister just a few weeks away now, but, why? And what's been the reaction?
This was a bombshell announcement, and it came at a surprise to many people inside New Zealand and all around the world. Earlier today at this press conference in Napier, we heard from the Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, and she said she doesn't have the energy to seek re-election in October. She said that in the last 5.5 years she's been serving as Prime Minister in New Zealand, she has given her absolute all, and it has taken a lot from her. She added that she will stand down as the leader of her country in early February, and she also had this to say. Take a listen.
I'm entering now my 6th year in office, and for each of these years I have given my absolute all. I believe that leading a country is the most privileged job anyone could ever have, but also one of the more challenging. You cannot and should not do it unless you have a full tank, plus a bit in reserve for those unexpected challenges.
Ardern added that she is not leaving the job because the job was hard, and she went on to list the number of once-in-a-generation crises that she and her government had to deal with in the last 5.5 years, including the COVID-19 pandemic, including the deadly volcanic eruption on Wakari Island, including, of course, the horrific 2019 Christchurch terror attacks, when a far-right terrorist targeted 2 mosques in the city, taking the lives of 51 people, and she responded with empathy and decisive action. Now, we have been monitoring international reaction to this announcement, and we heard this via a tweet from the Prime Minister of Australia. Let's bring it up for you, saying this, quote, Jacinda Ardern has shown the world how to lead with intellect and strength. She has demonstrated that empathy and insight are powerful leadership qualities. Jacinda has been a fierce advocate for New Zealand, an inspiration to so many, and a great friend to me, unquote. Now, on the international stage, Jacinda Ardern has been heralded for her progressive politics. At home, domestically inside New Zealand, she's been dealing with a number of political headwinds, including voters just focusing on rising prices, inflation, the cost of property rising, crime, etc. But she will be standing down as leader of her country on February the 7th. As for her next plans professionally, she says no plans, but personally she does. In fact, in her address announcement earlier today, she said she's looking forward to being there for her 4-year-old daughter when she sets off to school later this year, and to, in her words, finally marry her partner. Back to you.
Yeah, when she said that if she was going to leave because the job was hard, she would have left in the first 2 months, which I thought was a great quote. Chrissy, thank you. Chrissy Lustau out there live for us in Hong Kong. Well, for more, we're joined now by Bryce Edwards, political scientist at Victoria University of Wellington. Bryce, thanks for being with us. One of the first questions we had here when this story first broke was, well, what's the real reason? What's really going on here? And Ardern spoke specifically to that question a short time ago. I want you to listen to this. Here she is.
I know there will be much discussion in the aftermath of this decision as to what the so-called real reason was. I can tell you that what I'm sharing today is it. The only interesting angle that you will find is that after going on 6 years of some big challenges, I am human. Politicians are human. We give all that we can for as long as we can, and then it's time. And for me,
So is it possible that Ardern has the ability that most politicians lack, and that's knowing when it's time to go?
I think that's it. A good leader knows when to go, is what she said today. And we've got a precedent for this. One of the previous prime ministers, John Key, left after about 6 years in power as well. And he left when he was still very popular. So I think the real reason Ardern's going is that she's lost popularity. So the opinion polls here have really plummeted for her government and for her personally. So, yes, after that COVID crisis, she won 50% of the vote, which was an historic high. But in recent months, her support's gone down to about 32%. So about a third of her support's gone. And it's going to be a very tough election for her government to win. We've got an election day coming up in October. And I think she knew that it was very unlikely she'd be able to win that. So she's gone now. Better to go now than to be turfed out by voters, I think.
Yeah, go out on a high, I guess. But the last few months have been politically bruising for Ardern and her Labor government. The actor and New Zealander Sam Neill tweeted this: Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern resigned today. I'm not surprised, nor do I blame her. Her treatment, the pile-on in the last few months, has been disgraceful and embarrassing. All the bullies, the misogynists, the aggrieved. She deserved so much better. A great leader. Thanks, PM. So would you say the political fighting has been especially vicious in recent months, or is it just sort of normal rough and tumble? Was this perhaps enough to be the last straw?
Things have become more polarized. I mean, it's a lot like America at the moment. Things have got very divided. And that's sort of an outcome, I think, of COVID and the fact that, there's been a big increase in inequality, lots of social divisions, and a lot of people blame the Prime Minister for this. But I don't know. There hasn't been anything major. We had a big parliamentary protest earlier in last year where, there were noose ropes and sort of people wanting to put the Prime Minister on trial and all sorts of things like that. But that's dissipated in more recent months. But nonetheless, those opinion polls are pretty hard for any Prime Minister to deal with.
Well, few New Zealand Prime Ministers have dealt with the kind of challenges that Ardern has faced, in particular the 2019 mass shootings at 2 mosques. And I remember she was very quick to tweet this: what has happened in Christchurch is an extraordinary act of unprecedented violence. It has no place in New Zealand. Many of those affected will be members of our migrant communities. New Zealand is their home. They are us. Her words were in such stark contrast to what we were hearing in the United States at the time and other countries. And she also had this sort of very common touch during the pandemic crisis, nighttime chats on Facebook from her bedroom. This is a leadership style. Can it be replicated? Is this what New Zealanders now expect, or is this just sort of a one-off unique thing from a unique Prime Minister?
Yes, so you have to remember that Ardern came to power in 2017, just really a few months after Donald Trump came to power. And so around the world, I think there was huge interest in Jacinda Ardern as sort of the anti-Trump or the antidote to Trump. And her communication style as being very down to earth, I think has worked. Of course, she did a degree in communications. So, that is her expertise. But she certainly has raised the bar very high for politicians needing to emote and show their emotions and being able to connect with people. And I don't think there's anyone in her current government that will be able to step into those shoes.
Love her or hate her, she'll be a hard act to follow. Bryce, thank you for being with us.
Thanks.
Yeah.